toddYoungONLINE presents Young Tales. Tales for the young and the young at heart. Today's story, Bullfinch's Mythology, King Arthur and his Knights. Episode 9, The Lady of Shallot. Not to be confused with Green Onion. In the bright days of King Arthur's reign, when tournaments filled the air with song and the shining of armor, a proclamation went forth from Camelot. There would be held at Winchester a great festival of arms, a test of courage and skill where the bravest knights of the realm would meet in honorable combat beneath the king's own banner. The king himself rode ahead to oversee the preparations, leaving Queen Guenever at Camelot with her court. But one night, beloved of all, Lancelot du Lac remained behind, feigning illness. His heart was restless and his purpose secret, for he meant to ride to the tournament not as himself, but in disguise. "My lady," he said quietly to Guinevere, "though I stay behind, know this. You shall hear of my deeds before the last trumpet sounds. Then go, my knight, though in shadow. I shall know you by your courage." Smiling. Sir Lancelot donned the plain armor of an aged warrior and took the quietest road toward Winchester. Bent with feigned weariness, he rode alone, unnoticed, save by those who still felt the echo of his might. From a castle window, King Arthur and Sir Gawain looked down and whispered to one another. "That old knight moves with the step of youth," Arthur said, musing. "And the hand that steadies that horse, I'd swear it's Lancelot's own," Gawain said. They said no more, for they knew his heart, and that no disguise could hide him long once battle called his name. As night fell, the disguised knight came to a castle on the river, the castle of Shallot, whose lord welcomed him as an honored guest. There was feasting and song, and at the high table sat the lord's daughter, a maiden fair and gentle, eyes bright as dawn. She looked upon the stranger and felt her heart stir. His bearing, his voice, the calm in his gaze. Though his hair was streaked with gray, she saw in him a nobility that no years could dim. By supper's end, love had already taken root. But Sir Lancelot, perceiving her heart, sent word through her brother with courteous truth. "Fair lady, my heart is sworn elsewhere. Yet I would wear your token at the coming tournament, not as love, but as honor." The lady, though sorrowful, smiled and gave him her scarf of white silk embroidered with silver thread. "Then wear it," she said, "and may it guard your heart as it will hope. And may it guard your heart as it will my hope. And may it guard your heart as it will my hope?" Yeah, that's it. At dawn, Sir Lancelot rode forth with the young knight, his host's son, wearing the borrowed armor of a youth's sickly brother. Their shields were painted plain red, for the young knight's first year required no crest. But on Lancelot's helm fluttered the scarf of the Maid of Shallot. The field at Winchester blazed with color, King Arthur and Sir Galahad leading opposing sides. When the younger knight faltered, Lancelot spurred into the fray. His lance struck like lightning. One by one, the champions of the Round Table fell before him. Sir Gawain, Sir Bohort, Sir Lionel, all overthrown by the unknown knight in red. The onlookers marveled. "It cannot be," they cried. "Only Lancelot could strike so." And yet the scarf upon his helm was not the queen's. At last Sir Hector, Lancelot's brother, met him in combat. They fought long and fiercely. Hector's sword drew blood from Lancelot's brow, but Lancelot struck him down at last. Then before they could know his name, he rode away. Wounded and weary, Lancelot returned to the castle of Shallot, where the good earl, his sons, and the fair maid tended him with care. Her hands were gentle, her eyes full of sorrowful joy. And though Lancelot's wounds soon healed, another kind of hurt began to grow. In her heart, not his. "Must you leave so soon, my lord?" she asked. "Duty calls me back to court, lady. I owe your father gratitude beyond words," said kindly. Gratitude is a poor comfort to a heart that loves. She wept when he rode away, her scarf still gone with him, her hope sinking with each day that passed. As summer waned and winter's chill drew near, the Lady of Shallot faded like a flower in frost. At last, unable to bear the emptiness, she descended to the river's edge, her white gown trailing like mist. She stepped into a small boat, loosed its chain, and let the current carry her towards Camelot. The townsfolk saw her drift past, a golden awning above her, her hands folded upon her breast, her face pale but serene. Upon her breast lay a letter, sealed in gold, addressed to King Arthur and his knights. One morning, as Arthur and Sir Lionel looked from the tower above the river, they saw the strange barge float near. They hurried down to meet it. Beneath the golden canopy lay the still form of the Lady of Shallot. Arthur lifted the letter and read aloud. To the most noble knights of the Round Table and to their chief, King Arthur, know that Lancelot du Lac, the most perfect of men, yet the most pitiless, hath by his coldness slain one who loved him with a love beyond life. Okay. Let her be buried with honor, and may God grant him mercy, for she bore him no ill will. And when Lancelot heard of it, he came and looked upon her face. For a long while he stood in silence. Then at last he whispered, She has a lovely face. God in his mercy lend her grace, the Lady of Shallot. So passed the Lady of Shallot, a heart too gentle for the world of steel and honor, her love as silent as the river that bore her to Camelot. In her passing, the court learned the truth. Even the greatest knight may wound without striking, and love unreturned may be the deepest wound of all. And here's where we end for today. Young Tales is produced and narrated by Todd Young from toddYoungONLINE. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and join us next time for another story. Thank you for your support.